Hey everybody, it's Miss Leopard. Hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to touch base with everybody and let you know what second grade was currently working on. These are some Native American clay coil pots. And I wanted to share with you some different steps that these coil pots go through, which I happen to have pretty much all the steps right here in front of us. And let me actually go right over here for a second because I wanted to share with you the clay, and I try to incorporate as much of different subjects as I can through art. And here are some clay. This is earthenware clay, and I talk to the kids about clay, and what I tell them is clay is a natural resource, and a natural resource means that it is made by the earth. And it comes from the earth, and it is made by a process called weathering. And we talk about that, and weathering meaning rain, wind, snow, all of these things, weather in other words, and it causes the surface of our earth to change. And because of that, we end up with a material that we call clay. And there's a lot of different kinds of clay. This particular clay is a gray colored clay. Now, we talk about why clay has to be kept wrapped up in a, you guessed it, a bag. And the kids at home are probably telling you right now why it is wrapped up in a bag. And why is that? Guys, you tell your parents why it's wrapped up in a bag. Because it has what in it? Water. And without it being wrapped up in a bag, what is it going to do? Exactly, it is going to dry out. So it has to be wrapped up in a bag. And when we are working with clay, we have learned that the more you work with it, the drier it's going to get, because your hands are going to start to suck out the moisture that's in this clay. And that is something that we have talked about and we've discussed. So if you go back over here with me for just a second, you will see the various stages that we have, and I have to sort out everything by class because it can get a little confusing. You'll see I have Tuesday's group, I've got Wednesday's group, I have Friday's group right here. Thursdays I've already handed them back. So we create these little things called clay coils, and they look like a little snail shell or a little cine mini like you find at Burger King, or at least you used to be able to. I don't even know if they have them anymore. But the kids make a little Ziploc bag full of clay coils, and I taught them about how to make the coils, and they will have their own little sack full of clay coils. And then we will take a real styrofoam bowl, and we use it as a mold. And we will line the bowl with the coils that they made. So the first step is we line the bowl. Second step, we plug the holes, and then we smooth. And my second graders can tell you that because they've done it. In fact, we did it twice. The first one we did for a community project called the Empty Bowl, and that is something that they can probably tell you about, but I won't get into it because I don't want to bore you any more than I'm already probably boring you. So, but these right here are drying out, and they are in a stage that we call greenware, which is extremely dried up clay. And in fact, they're probably more bone dry really, because they probably don't have any water left in them at all at this point. And they would be fired in the kiln, and they would be baked one time, as I put it in those terms to the kids. When they come out, they would be fired once, which would be called bisqueware, which is what you have up here. And you can see it's turned white now. So if you compare these two, that's white, that's gray. That's what happens when you fire it and there's no water left in it. After we get them fired, we put a glaze on them. And the glaze that I have is super cool because they have these little tiny pieces in them that pop at certain temperatures in the kiln, and they make these really cool swirls of color. So this is what second grade currently, some of them, because these have not been fired yet and they have not been glazed yet, nor have these, but They are currently working on these, and this is something that we are working on in the art room, and I wanted to share that with you so you could see what second grade is working on. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed seeing what second grade is doing. Till next time, y'all have a good one.